In this video, we're going to talk about spending plan developmental process. To figure out, first of all, how to develop a spending plan, here are some tips. One, you need to make your goals realistic. Two, you need to know the time period, or what are you going to track? Most people track their pay period or go by monthly. It just depends, but you need to figure out how long am I going to track my expenses before you start over. So you might track it for a month, and then the next month you do it again, and you keep tracking it. And then you got to remember you're going to have to make sacrifices, opportunity costs, trade-offs. Those all come into this. And making your goals realistic and having a good understanding of how much money you make a month, and making sure you know what you need to survive. Step one for creating a spending plan: track your current income. So you need to know how much you're making a month and then what your expenses are. Okay, and you'll group those expenses into different categories. Two, personalize your spending plan. So figure out what you want to do. Spend less on dining out, or pay more on your auto loan payment, or have more money in savings, or have more money left over at the end of the month. Maybe you're just going paycheck to paycheck, and what that means is basically you're limping into your next pay period. So if I get paid every 2 weeks, a day or two before I get paid, I barely have any money left. And that's the case for a lot of people. You'll probably be like that in college. That's kind of pretty typical for college students. But why is that? Look at your spending habits compared to your income. You know, everybody is limited to what they can buy based off of how much they make a month. You're limited to your income. Okay, step three, allocate your money. So when you figure out what you want to do with your money, then start pushing money to those areas. If you want to spend less on dining out and save more, then take that money that you're maybe trimming back from dining out, maybe it's $50 less a month, put that into savings. If you'd like to pay more on your student loans, well, that money's got to come from, to pay more on those student loans, that money's got to come from somewhere else in your your expenses and your income. So figure that out. When you have it figured out, allocate, do it. Okay. Step four is implement and control. Okay. See what's happening. Do those things that you promised. Reach those goals. Okay. And then step five is spending plans aren't perfect. You might not get it on the first month. You might say, hey, I'm going to usually I spend $200 on groceries a month. I'm going to trim that back to $150 and then take that extra $50 and pay more money on my car loan. And then you realize, wow, I can't do that. I do need $200 a month for food from the grocery store to survive. So maybe you trim it, you make adjustments from month to month. It might take a couple months for you to get this right. So if you don't get it right the first month, don't get frustrated. Stay with it. And you can fix it as you go. Nothing's set in stone. You can always tweak it. Okay? So those are the 5 tips to a spending plan. Or not tips, steps, sorry. Just remember the tips. Make your goals realistic. Know your time period of how long you're going to do this spending plan for. Is it monthly, weekly, every 2 weeks, what have you? And then you got to make sacrifices. And you really got to understand how much money you make, and you really have to document where all your money's going, your expenses, to make this work.